Hey, hot mamas, this is Ashley, and I wish I could be seeing your beautiful faces right now, face to face, but we're so thankful that we have this technology that we can still do some really fun things like what we're going to do today. So, for those of you all who didn't know, my side hustle is that I blog and have an online business, and it's called Defeating Busy at defeatingbusy.com. And what I do is help women and moms um, do work on productivity, and so they can spend their time doing things that they really want to do and would rather do, and the things that are the most important to them. So, what I thought we would focus on today is helping you all with organizing your day, scheduling your day, having a routine. Because even though life looks drastically different right now, it's still really helpful if you can have some sort of routine that you're not just kind of flying by the seat of your pants all day long. Structure is really good for us. Structure is good for our kids. It will make a big difference in the way you feel. So what I'm going to do is share my screen so I can show you all how I would do it. All right. And here we go. Okay. So this is a page out of my productivity workbook that I'm going to use to do this for one particular day, just to give you all an idea of how it goes. So let's look at Thursday, since it's in the middle of the page. We'll start working there. So the first thing you do when you're looking at your whole day, so we've got from 5 a.m. to 12 a.m., is to mark out your sleep. So I know that I never wake up until 5:30. You're not going to catch me earlier than that. And I usually go to sleep at 10:30, or I'm sorry, no, that's way too late, 9:30. So starting at 9:30, I'm going to mark in sleep. And I'll just know that from there on, I'm going to mark it in as sleep, and I'll mark in this 5 to 5:30 slot as sleep. So really, that's the most important thing. We need to try to get that in. It's just so good for our physical health, our mental health. All those things that are super important right now are really helped by 8 hours of sleep. So let's start there. Then if you work, if you have a part-time job, a side hustle, full-time job, schedule those hours in next, the things that are non-negotiable. The other thing that's non-negotiable is like your own hygiene, right? Getting ready, taking a shower. Those are the things that we want to get in every day. So that's the place that I start with the morning. My morning routine really is the rudder for my day. If I don't have a morning routine and I just get up and kind of do things willy-nilly, I can tell a huge difference in my attitude and the way my day goes. Morning routine is key for me. I think it's key for everybody. So even if it's a 10-minute routine, have one. So for Thursday, let's say I get up at 5:30 and I'm going to mark out this block for exercise. My husband and I have been exercising in the garage, and believe it or not, that's working out really well. So actually, I put these in the wrong spot. So let's go back, and this block is still sleep. This is the 5 to 5:30 block. The one right below that is 5:30 to 6. So we'll mark out exercise, which also goes to 6:30. Then from 6:30 to 7, I'm going to, get ready, shower, start my makeup. Then from 7 to 7:30, that's when I'm going to do my quiet time. I'll kind of look at what I need to do for the day and just kind of prioritize what I'm going to start with first, what I'm going to start working on first. So then 7:30, I come downstairs, and that's when I start making breakfast for everybody. My husband is still extremely spoiled in that I make breakfast for him and the girls. I go up and I make their breakfast. I go up and get them. So this whole kind of block is making breakfast and having breakfast for them. At 8:30, which is what we're looking in here, I go upstairs and I finish getting ready while my husband is finishing breakfast with them. And then I have breakfast myself. And then after that, this is kind of my first open block of the day. So what I'm going to do right now is skip that. Let's go to the next thing that is a must happen, that is part of our normal everyday routine. So at 11:30, which I believe is going to be here, that's when I start making lunch for the girls. I get my littlest one up from her nap at this time. I make my own lunch. So this whole block is really a lunch block. And then the next block I want to fill in is dinner, because that's pretty consistent too, that at 5 p.m. I start making dinner, making sides, whatever that looks like. And we start this dinner block. And by 6:30, we're usually, I'm going to fill some of this out. We do have a little bit longer dinner. We still have a family dinner around the table. So we take our time there. So by 6:30, dinner is usually done. And then I'm going to go ahead and fill in the girls' bedtime, which is 7:30. We start the girls' bedtime routine. The littlest one goes to bed immediately. The other one starts putting on her pajamas, reading her stories, brushing her teeth, that sort of thing. And then starting at 8 p.m., that is when our time starts opening up. I start getting ready for bed, washing my face. I'm 37, so I do stretches because that helps me stay recovered from the exercise. So we're just going to call this, in fact, the nighttime routine. So now I have everything blocked out that always happens without fail. And that leaves me with some blocks. I'm going to put this in for exercise so I know not to fill it. This leaves me with, basically, I'm seeing 2 main blocks during the day that I can get everything else done. So what I do is every night, as part of this nighttime routine, I write down what I want to get done the next day. I store all of those things in an app called Todoist. Some things are repeating tasks, like it's always going to pop up to do laundry. It's always going to pop up to run the RoboVac. So some things are daily occurrences, that's always in there. And then I use that whenever I come up with another to-do, I pop it in the app. So the night before, I sit down and list all the things I want to do. I write those in priority order. So it's like, if I only get one thing done, in order to feel accomplished, what is that thing? And that's the first thing that I'm going to work on in this top block, hopefully. Sometimes that number one thing is something I can do while the girls are awake. Sometimes that thing requires more concentration, and it's something I have to do when I know I'm not going to be interrupted. If I can do it with them up, that's the thing I address in this first block. So this first block may be, I can tell you what it frequently is for me, and it's types of home chores. So we're looking at cleaning, we're looking at laundry, if I need to take a look at what we're having for dinner and see if I need to thaw something out. All of this goes in that first block. We just moved, so any unpacking that needs to be done, things like that, I can tackle in this first block of time. So this is the block of the time. Starting at about 9:30, my littlest takes a nap. So I just have my oldest. She's a little bit better about being able to entertain herself. So this is when I'm in the area, but she is doing her work for school, her computer games, different things like that I have to be around, but she doesn't necessarily, she's 5, so she doesn't need me to do everything for her, just be around. So this is the block of time that I'm doing the home chores and she is doing her schoolwork. Then this afternoon block, so we have some time after lunch that we typically, we try to go for a walk after lunch, or we'll play, or we'll do some kind of art, which, art is, do you want to do watercolors? Do you want to do Play-Doh? You could do some kind of a craft. We get craft boxes. I don't know if you all remember Eleanor Honeyman. She was in MOPS. She just moved to the Maryland area. She creates like little craft bags and sends them out. She'll ship them to you. So that's another thing that we would do kind of in this art block that we always have, because I have one who is pretty artsy and likes arts and crafts. If you have one who's not, then pick the thing that your child really loves and make sure you're getting some of that every day. So around 2:30, so from 2:30 to at least 4:30, I would say, is our quiet time block. My littlest one goes down to nap again for the second time. My 5-year-old, she knows she can go in her room. She doesn't have to nap unless she wants to. She has plenty of toys in there, so she can play, she can draw. I don't care what she does in there as long as she stays in there and the door is closed, because that's my work block. So for this second 2-hour block in the day, that is typically, I'll fill this in just to keep us from being confused, that this first block was mainly concentrated on home chores for me. Then this block is going to be play. This is when my people actually get some of my undivided attention. Then this work block that starts at 2:30, which is going to be here, is going to be my work block. So I don't know what that is for you. For me, I have a couple of side hustle things going. So this is my literal work block. I work on the blog. I work on some freelance writing gigs that I do. This is pure work for me. For you, it may not be. Maybe this is time that you need to work on a hobby. Maybe you're not, you have little ones who aren't sleeping great and you need to block off an hour for a nap. But this is your concentrated time to do whatever you want to do with it. So that is the work block. That's a couple of hours until that 4:30 hour. And that's when I start at that 4:30 hour kind of figuring out how to wind the day. Do I need to do something with dinner? Do I need to straighten up the house again? It's just basically cleanup time. So this is kind of a buffer block for me. I clean, I prep dinner, I come downstairs. I just kind of do odds and ends that need to be done. And then the after dinner block is, we typically watch TV. I feel like we're 100 years old. We watch Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy and then whatever little music kind of game show is on TV, because that's what you can watch with kids in the room. Okay, so we'll just call this instead, we'll call it family time. I think ideal would maybe be to go for a walk after dinner if we haven't already gotten to after lunch. I want to give you all kind of a sneak peek of something I'm putting on the blog in the next couple of weeks. And that's just after having conversations with lots of moms, lots of other women, this is a really burdensome, heavy time for a lot of people. So I started thinking about what are the essential things that we should all do every day for our mental health to keep, this is the most valuable real estate you can own, is the real estate between your ears. So the question is, what can we do every single day to constantly pour good stuff into here and to keep it as, keep our mental health as optimized as we can. So these are the 4 habits that I think we should all try to get in every day. Number 1 is music. So in fact, before we go into this, let's do this. So this is just a review of the day. You could do the exact same thing. You can do it for every single day, Monday through Sunday. Things are a lot looser for us during the weekends, and we have a lot of just open blocks. The other tips would be, the clock doesn't strike 9 o'clock and there's a dinger that goes off and then I immediately go start doing home chores. It's flexible. I just know generally this is what I want to do. I do this and then I do this. I just know what the routine is. What do I do next when I'm suddenly having a free moment? So you can do this with all of your days. This still works when we get back to, when we get rid of the big Rona and we are actually going places and have appointments and places we have to be. It works the same way. You plug in what you absolutely have to do. And then you look at your open blocks of time and you ask yourself, what's the best use of this time? Okay, so that is the ideal week planner, is what I call it here. When you do it for an entire week, this is what you want your ideal week to look like. Okay, so when I was telling you about the 4 daily habits, music, number 1. So what I'm recommending for people is to have 4 different playlists. So 1, create a playlist that's just songs that make you happy, that you just listen to them and they make you want to sing, or they just warm your soul. Songs that make you happy. 2, songs that make you want to dance. So that's for me like Little Outcast, Flo Rida, things that you put on that really just, you cannot contain yourself, because everybody needs a little dance party every now and then, even if it's just when nobody's home and nobody's watching. Number 3, songs that relax you. So this could be instrumentals. This could be nature sounds. This could be Michael Bublé. I'm not ashamed. I love Michael Bublé. There are sometimes when we're just so stressed and it's really hard to just physically get our bodies to calm down, that music helps do that. So have a playlist to relax you. And number 4, this one's my favorite, is to have at least one playlist that is songs from when you were growing up. So for me, I was an 80s, 90s baby. So I have like a 90s playlist that's full of like TLC and Mariah Carey and some of those. And then I have a 90s country, which is George Strait and Joe Diffie and, old school country, both of those, like the instant I put that in my head, I'm like transported back to when I was a kid and I had so few responsibilities and I didn't know what I know now as an adult. And it was just such a carefree time that it kind of does that to you. It takes you back and it takes some of the weight off your shoulders. So, number 1 habit, music. Number 2 habit, nature. Nature, the sunshine, the vitamin D, seeing all these beautiful things that surround us, the sounds, the smells, we need it. It's so healing to our souls. So get outside, absolutely when it's sunny, and even when it's raining, which is so rare here. I mean, grab an umbrella and get out there for a few minutes. 10 minutes makes a difference. Go garden, go walk, anything, just to get outside and get some vitamin D. Okay, and number 3 would be movement. I know exercise, this is just not the time that a lot of people are going to start a really rigorous exercise program with burpees and push-ups and, go hard or go home. That's fine. That's why it doesn't say exercise. It says movement. So yeah, go on a walk. When you have to go to the grocery, park at the back of the lot. Just instead of saving your trips up and down the stairs, take things individually up. So you're just getting around more. That movement is so good for you. And it boosts your immunity. So it's like you get the endorphins mentally, you get greater immunity. Why not? It's movement. It's not exercise. You just reframe the way you think about it. And the 4th habit is to spend some time with Jesus every single day. This is a hard time. I know not everybody watching this is a Christian, and that's okay. You're welcome here. But it really does make a difference to start your day off, just shifting your perspective and realizing that you have a friend. If you're alone every day and your husband's going off to work, or you're a single mom, or even if your husband's with you, without seeing people, sometimes it feels like we're alone, we're in it alone, nobody understands. But let me tell you, you're not alone. He's always with you. He is your best friend who never gets tired of hearing you talk, because my husband does. He's there, and there's nothing more that he wants than to hear about your worries, your concerns, your dreams, your wants, just your random thoughts. He loves that. He's waiting to be there. That's what a friend is. So starting the day like that, for me, completely shifts my headspace. That when I do that first thing of the morning before I shoot out of that bedroom, I show up as such a much better mom, a better wife, a better person, if I start it with him. So those are the 4 things that I'm recommending that you definitely fit in your day. But please try out this ideal week tracker. I'm going to give you all access to this page from the workbook. If you want the whole workbook, it's like $3.99. It's not ridiculous, but I will give you the link to access that too. And if you have any questions, you need help, you just want somebody to kind of walk you through it, let me know. I'm here to help. So shoot me an email. That is Ashley, ASHLEY, at defeatingbusy.com. And I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope this helped. I hope now you feel better about putting some structure back into your days, so things just run smoother, and mentally and emotionally you just feel better about getting through this time, because we will get through it, even if it takes a while. The end will happen. There's light at the end of this tunnel. You all have a great day. Thanks for watching with me. It was a pleasure to be here with you, and I so appreciate your time. Thanks.